you guys are looking for a traditional gas generator, I have a way to get you one that will provide you enough power at a very affordable price. Today, we're taking a look at the PowerSmart 2500W Inverter gas generator. Let's check this thing out. All right, folks, welcome back. So I wanted to show you this today because I know that I've been showing you a lot of the solar power stations, and those are usually pretty unaffordable if you're on a budget or if you don't have a lot of money to spend. And around 2,500 watts from one of those would cost you probably around $2,000, pretty close to it, $1,800, even $1,000. Still pretty darn expensive. However, a traditional gas generator, similar to this one, will run you about $430. These are $429.98, I believe. And that is a whole lot of power at an affordable price. Now, there are some downsides with the traditional generator. You'll have to maintain it. It'll need maintenance. It'll need fluids like gasoline and oil, so you have to store those. But if that's okay with you, this is an awesome way to start. And this is a really nice one. It's really, really quiet. On the eco mode, I believe it's less than 59 dB, they say. We'll test that out. But you can produce up to 2,500 starting watts, 1,900 running watts. Very fuel efficient generator. It's got super quiet technology. It is all sealed in here, if you notice. It's all in one little box. Kind of reminds me of the older Honda generators when they first came out, where you could seal it all up and it would be very, very quiet. So they say about 56 dBA in eco mode. Okay, and there are two modes for this. So there's eco mode and then the regular run mode. And we'll test both out as far as sound goes. Here's the really cool part that sets it aside from some of the power stations that are in this class. It is 39 pounds. Super easy to lift. It's funny because I'm moving a power station that I had to replace with another one, and I'm selling off the old one, and that thing is 67 pounds, and it's only 2,000 watts. So, you know, it's a whole lot lighter and a little bit easier to carry around. The size on this is about 19 inches long, 13 inches wide across this way, and 20 inches high. So all in all, a whole lot smaller, including the handle, that is, a whole lot smaller than some of the power generators, or the same size at least. Let's take a look at the outlets in front, and I'll show you why this one's kind of different than your traditional gas generator. All right, so we're taking a look at the front of the unit. Right here we have our two AC outlets. We have a run and over power and a oil indicator light. You have your mode here. You're on for eco mode or off, okay? Your reset and your DC circuit breaker, if that should pop. Your choke, your on and off button here. I believe this is more like it shuts off the carb so the gas runs out. We're going to test that out too. Here's where it's really cool. You actually have a 2 amp and a 1 amp USB port. Now this can be paralleled, so of course you have your parallel connectors here and here, and you can connect this to another one and double the output on it. That's really, really cool. Two of these together is still cheaper than, say, a 4,500 or a 5,000 watt generator, and you can double the output on it, okay? So you do have 3-prong, 120 volt, 15 amp AC outlets, and you even have a DC 12 volt outlet here. So all of your accessories that run on 12 volts can be run off of this. Pure sine wave inverter on these, so you'll get nice clean power out of it. We're going to test it out, and I'm going to show you how to get one of these up and running very simply. Now remember, these don't come with oil in them, so you do have to put oil inside. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second here, and then we're going to gas it up. Now, unfortunately, in my area, there is none of that ethanol-free gasoline anywhere. I mean, seriously, I have hunted high and low. I've asked at gas stations. So I'm going to put a very small amount of gasoline in here. I don't want to store this with gas in it because eventually that ethanol will eat away at stuff. And they always recommend for smaller engines non-ethanol gas. So if you're in an area, I mean, it'll run fine, but if you're in an area that doesn't have it, you may want to store this without gasoline in it. That's kind of my general rule for any generator. I take them out once every 6 months, gas them up, run them for half an hour under load, put them back away, check the oil if need be, and all that stuff. So we are going to start this up. I'm going to show you how to load it up the first time and run it. We are going to run it for about 20 minutes. Of course, I'm not going to show you all that on camera because that would be kind of boring. And then we're going to change the oil. The reason for doing that is to make sure that any kind of parts in here that have little pieces of metal working against each other, whatever, they all come out, they're all cleaned and dumped. So you want to put the oil in, run it for 20 minutes and put it off. I'm going to go through the setup on how to get this up and running, but first we're going to fill up the oil in it. All right, folks, welcome back. So this requires 16.9 fluid ounces of oil. I do have you down here on the oil port. This is where you're going to push that open, and there you go. You can even take that out of the way. Did put some paper towels down here because I'm sure it's going to spill. I do like the fact that they actually kind of thought this out a little bit, and they have a lip here. So when you're emptying the oil and it does spill out, it doesn't go down into the box of the generator and leak all over your floor for months. Now, when you're doing this, you're going to unscrew this. Now, you're not going to thread this back in when you're checking this on the dipstick. This is your dipstick, and this is your lower level and upper level. You want it somewhere in between here, but they say to fill it to the upper level to start with. So all you're going to do when you're checking it is put it in here and pull it out. Now, the engine has been pre-oiled. Some people like to remove the spark plug and drop some oil on the heads and all that. There is a little bit of oil inside the engine, so when this starts, there might be a little bit of white smoke that comes out the first time. So they give you a little funnel here, and we're going to go for the 16.9 fluid ounces. I am going to be kind of careful about it. I don't want to overfill it. So we're going to fill this up with oil and move to the next step. Now, this may not show up very well on camera, but I did fill it up and managed not to make too much of a mess. I want to put it to the top level. So you just place it in there, and you take a look, and you can see, yep, the oil's right about the top level there. Let me wipe that off again and try. It's hard to show you because it is dripping. But, yeah, we're about right under the top. Yep, we're perfect. Okay, so that's all done. So the next thing you got to do is fill it up with gas, and that we're going to take outside to do. Like I said, I'm not going to put a ton of gas in this. I want to just run it for about a half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever, to let all the internal machinations work themselves in. And then we're going to dump the oil out. And when that's done, I'm going to start it up for you. We're going to let it run. When it's done, after 20 minutes, we're going to dump the oil out. I'm going to show you why you want to always clean out your oil after a first run on a generator, and then we'll finish up the video. But let me show you how to get this started. So let's take it on the ground, take it outside, fill it up with gas, and move on from there. All right, got it outside on the ground. We're going to open up the cap. Now, the cap has an on and an off switch on the top of it. When you're done filling it up, you're going to move that to on to allow the airflow in there. When it's off, it won't allow the airflow. So we're going to open up the cap here. Okay, and we're going to pour in the gasoline. I think I have about a gallon left in this tank here. So we're going to pour it in there and let it go. All right, so we got the gas cap. I wanted to show you that quickly. This is your on, and this is your off. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's kind of hard to see it in this lighting on the camera. You move that to on. So we're going to put it on top here and move it to on, of course, because that's already done. Then we're going to move on to our next step. All right, now the fun part. And if you're worried about how to do this, you don't have to rewatch the video. The generator will come with instructions, either written out or pictures. We're going to move this to over here now. Turn it on. Okay. Next step is to pull the choke out. So that's pulled out there. And then we're going to pull the handle. Now I'm going to do this live and let you see how this works. I'm going to move the camera around a little bit here before we start. All right, here we go. Let's see. That's pretty impressive and extremely quiet. I got my meter out here. Let's see what it is. Obviously, I could talk over it. I'm showing about 79, 80. Very, very quiet. Very impressive. It is having a little white smoke in the back. I do have it in eco mode. Let's move it up to the regular mode and see how it goes. And there we go. And even on full, only showed about 83 dBs. That's really not bad. All right, let me run this for half an hour, and I'll bring you guys back, or 20 minutes or so, and we'll change out the oil. So it's been running for about 10 minutes now. I wanted to show you the sine wave on it. Hope you can see that. Nice and smooth. Definitely pure sine wave inverter. All right, so we ran it for about 35 minutes, actually. Kind of lost track of time. And I did notice that my gas is kind of old. I'm going to have to rotate the one gas can that I need to rotate. I have all my other stuff that I've rotated earlier in the year. But the gas can that I'm just using for casual stuff was kind of old, so I think I'm going to rotate that today. But it ran perfectly. No issues whatsoever. So we are going to drain the oil now. Take a look and see what's inside of it. I do have it up on a box here, so I can get a little bit of a tilt on it. And we're going to open it up and drain out the oil and see what we get out of it. All right, so I've drained it out, and this is why you run your oil for the first time. I see a couple of little metal flakes here and there. That's normal, and you can kind of see it in the oil itself. This is why you run it for a good 20-30 minutes before you pack it away and get it ready for use. And you also, after running this again, let's say there was an emergency tomorrow and I needed to fire it up, I would be dumping that oil after running it and changing it again. So as you can see, it'll get clearer and clearer as time goes on, but that's pretty darn dark, and that is perfectly normal. That is how it gets after being run in there for the first time. You can see a little bit of haze, you know, some metal working against itself there. You can see a little bit of sparkling in it. And that's normal. That's what it's supposed to do. So let's fill it up with some fresh oil, and I'll finish up the video. All right, so there you go. Oil changed. I did empty out the gas in it because I don't want to store it with gasoline in it. It does have a very efficient cutoff. I noticed when I shut it off using the off here and pushed the choke in, put it all away, I'm like, let's see if I can start this again, get that last little bit of gas out of there. And I dumped that tank out. It was completely empty. And it would not start until I put more gas in, which I had to dump out again. So I just wanted to test and see how well it protects the carburetor from gas just sitting in there and eating at it. So it definitely works well. Small enough where you can carry it around with you anywhere. What I like about it is it's small enough that I'll remember to rotate it. My other generator is a 4,000 watt generator. It's got wheels. It's got a pulley. It's big to pull out. And I do it, but I should do it more. This thing, super easy to carry around, easy to lug around, no problem at all. So other than cleaning up a few little spots of oil in my driveway, I'd say this was a successful test. I really like it too. One of the things I did notice is that you can see that run light and these lights very well from a distance. Now, when you shut it off, it'll have the over and, it'll fluctuate a little. But you can see that from a distance, that green light, which leads me to believe that you can see these from a distance as well. So it is nice that you can monitor it from a distance, and I love the parallel. I'm thinking about picking up another one of these and being able to parallel it and maybe getting rid of my 4,000 watt generator, because two of these are a lot easier to move and rotate and start up every month than a big one. So it's a 79cc 4-stroke OHV engine. Very easy to use. It is EPA certified and CARB certified, I believe. I got some paperwork with it that led me to believe that it is available in the state of California, because I know California wants to ban all sorts of gas products. So this is usable there. It does have a free lifetime technical support, 3-year limited warranty, parts coverage, and 24-hour online service. If you have any questions, they can help you online. I definitely like it, and for $430, you can't beat it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you a link down to the Amazon store that it's in. It'll also be in my Amazon store, so you can check it out down there. This thing is really cool, and if you haven't owned a generator before, I would say this is a good first generator, because it's very easy. I mean, you saw I filled this up, filled it up with oil, filled it up with gas. The first pull it started, and that was old gas too. I'm going to be getting some new gas to run in this, so I got to say I'm impressed with it. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. Like I said, the link will be down below for this particular product, the PowerSmart 2500W Inverter gas generator, and it will be in my store. Don't forget to check my store if you want to see what's in there and you want to buy some stuff. That's cool. It's usually the stuff I use in the channel or review. If not, just click that link and shop as you normally would. We appreciate when you do that. Our freeze-dried wholesaler link. Don't forget to check him out as well, okay? That is a 15% discount link. You don't need codes or anything. You just click that link, and at the checkout, you'll see the Iridium 242 discount for 15% off your whole order. Now's a good time to get stocked up on food, folks, so definitely check it out. Below that, our My Patriot Supply link. That's preparewithiridium.com, preparewithiridium.com. We not only have the specials that are on the front, but if you click those specials and you go into the website, you'll see all the other cool stuff that's on my portal for My Patriot Supply. And don't forget our Thrive Life freeze-dried food store. I thank you guys for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.